Rather than me having to sink it in at the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today, the undisputed king of the UK battle rap scene. I once compared him to Cody Rhodes, but since our last chat, he's expanded his legacy and evolved into a legend killer. With over 30 battles to his name, he's the current reigning, defending, undisputed Premier Battles champion. And on top of all that, he happens to be a properly nice, down-to-earth bloke, and I can attest to that for personal reasons on this occasion. He has shown a resolve and self-belief that you need to study. Ladies and gentlemen, the champ is here. It's songwriter, UK battle rap champion, and two-time UK battler of the year, Aaron Bond, aka Bizzo Bond. How are you, sir?
I'm alright, thanks mate. Thank you for having me again.
It's all good, it's all good. I hope the intro is befitting of a two-time UK battler of the year. How do you feel about that accolade?
Love it, yeah. It was very. It was a goal of mine to do it again in 2022, simply because I felt as though that the pool of battlers wasn't large enough for it to have enormous significance in 2021. It did kind of feel like a two-horse race between me and Bobby, and whoever was going to win the Anarchy tournament will probably end up getting it. So last year I set out to like really cement my place at the top of UK battle rap, which I feel like I've done all right of. So I'm very pleased about winning it for a second time. I'm very honoured as well.
It was really lovely seeing the awards. I mean, not live, obviously, but seeing some of the pictures and some of the adulation, a lot of the positivity in the room, everyone looking suave as fuck. How did that event feel? Because again, I feel like the struggle for battle rap's legitimacy has come a really long way in the last sort of 15, 20 years. And it's now to the point where you guys are having award ceremonies and it doesn't feel ironic or cynical or put on. It feels like a legitimate celebration of an art form that is still yet to find its mainstream audience in a real way.
I think we touched on it last time that we spoke to each other, that it was very much in a rebuilding process, and it was kind of starting from the rubble and working our way up again from a couple of years ago. And I feel like last year to do an award ceremony was kind of more a celebration that we're finally heading in the right direction. We've finally got eyes on us again. We're touching all corners of the world in terms of engagement and audiences that are watching us. It's good for the battlers as well, because it gives the battlers a reason to do it and a reason to be competitive as well. Because in previous years, a lot of people would not take it as seriously as they should, really. And when you know that there's a goal at the end of it where you could be winning an award, you could be getting accolades for your art form that you never would have had previously to this year, then it's worth really making an effort with. And you can see it in the reflection of battle rap for this year already. The matches that are taking place this early on, you've got Shotty having a battle very early on against Shuffle T. You've got Koj versus Gemini and Raptor, two very big opponents. So to me, that shows what Koj's intentions are for this year in terms of battle rap. Gemini will be the same as well. I'd have no doubts over. Bobby is looking at a good year again. He's got Frankie Fraser as his first battle, and if things all go to plan, he's got another title match on the way. So yeah, it's all going in a good direction. It's competitive again. I think this is going to be the most competitive year of battle rap that we've probably had for 6-7 years, maybe.
In that case, I mean, I appreciate the shout outs, and I appreciate, again, befitting a champion, representing not only his promotion, his scene, and his fellow battlers, but we're here to talk about you specifically right now, because 2022 was a year to remember for you. Capped off by, and this is why I say for personal reasons, I can tell you this guy's down to earth, really fucking nice bloke. Undisclosed 7. Supposed to be there for that. Didn't turn up. Car had other ideas. But Thesaurus. tell me about that match. Tell me about the original cancellation, what it meant for your preparation up until that point. Tell me about the event itself, and then tell me about the aftermath, the result, and what you feel like it meant for your legacy to battle him.
Yeah, it was most definitely the biggest battle I've ever had, by quite a margin, I feel. It's not every day you get the opportunity to go toe to toe with someone who's been there and done it, worn the t-shirt on so many different occasions, and someone who actually had an interest in battling me as well. The battle itself, I was very happy with in terms of my performance. I thought I did everything I needed to do to show I belonged up there with someone of Thesaurus' caliber. Yeah, I was very. It capped off the year nicely. It was a shame about the first cancellation, but obviously that couldn't have been helped under any circumstances, and I completely understand as to why it didn't go down first time. Obviously, rest in peace, Pat Stay, as always. But yeah, it was a nice round off to the year. Obviously, the awards event had happened a couple of weeks before. So yeah, it was a good way to really end everything for 2022, and I was very, very happy with it.
As you should have been. I mean, I again, sadly, couldn't catch the event despite making a concerted effort. Honest to God, I'd filled the car, I'd put stuff, I downloaded, and this is a true story, I downloaded about 7 of your previous battles to make sure that I was fully right. I have every reference memorized. I have every bar linked so I can catch every punch thrown. And the fucking key wouldn't turn in the goddamn ignition. But I'm told that the event went down without a hitch. I see that obviously Thesaurus had a bit of a wobble, shall we say, in the first round, but otherwise I felt like it was a really great backwards and forwards battle. One of the things that he seemed to reference, at least in part in the second round, and you really made a point of elongating and protracting in your third, was your evolution. Your kind of the perception with the fans and other battlers to the legitimacy that you're still striving for in some people's eyes as far as your undisputed nature as champion. Talk to me about some of your evolution over the last 18 to 24 months. Is there something that you're making more of a concerted effort to do, or would you say that this progress that you've made is more the culmination of everything prior in your career up until this point? It's just it's bearing more fruit now.
Yeah, it's a good question. I feel it's a mixture of a lot of different things. Obviously, I'm very competitive and very hard on myself first and foremost. I always want to be as good as I possibly can be, in relation to my ability. So every battle, for me, isn't. I can't sit back and watch and enjoy a battle after I've done it. I use it more as a piece of learning equipment, so I'll really assess everything, and in terms of how can I be better next time. Even if the battle was a 3-0, even if it was like a 2-1 battle of the year, I always feel like I could do something better for the next one, and I feel like I have progressively got better in every battle I've done. I don't think there's any drops or declines as such. That I've experimented with different writing styles, different performance factors, but a lot of that comes from the feedback that I get from fans. It's an entertainment business at the end of the day, and I want to make sure that the fans are entertained by a Bizzo Bond battle. So I always take that on board. I learned a lot from all the battles that I had this year. Mainly the Tony D one, really. The Tony D one was a big learning curve for me because there was a lot of repetition in the comments with particular comments on my style and the writing for that particular battle, which I didn't see at the time when I was prepping for it. But in hindsight, looking at it, I definitely had a lot of points to take away from it to get better, which I implemented against Opper and I implemented against Thesaurus as well. And I feel like I was a lot more varied against Thesaurus. I switched it up. I could do 2-line haymakers. I could do a 12, 16 bar haymaker. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's the driving motivation. I just want to be the best that I possibly can be, and I don't want it to. I don't want to be knocked off the spot that I've earned over the last 2 years. I don't want anyone to take it away from me, which sounds selfish, but I've put a lot of work and a lot of effort into to get into the stage that I'm at now, and I don't want it to all just like come to a crashing halt under any circumstances. I've still got quite a lot of life left in me, so I'm I'm trying to just continue getting better, get bigger battles, make more of a name for myself. Obviously, bring the scene along with me, all the other battlers that I represent as well. I just want everyone to, get the recognition they deserve on this side of the globe. So that's the driving motivation behind it. For myself, I love taking part in it. I feel like I'm at a stage now as well, which is very different to the one when I was battling in 2021, for example, where I'm not fighting to get the approval from crowds anymore. I feel like people actually look forward to watching me battle now as a majority percentage. So that's something that I'm really embracing and enjoying, because beforehand it was very it was polar opposite. It was like every time I stepped in a room, it's like, right, I've got to impress everyone here, and now it's kind of like flipped, and people are there to watch me, and people are actually actively buying tickets to watch me battle. So it's a good position to be in, but I do feel like I can get better and I can offer more, so that's what I'm always going to push and work towards.
And I'm not preempting anything here, but I am saying that as long as you've got Shotty Heyman in the background clutching the title, I mean, if there was ever an image where he was almost like he was like the scene is secure in his hands as in yours, while he's just happy to hold on to it while you just fucking run with it, man. That was a beautiful little, just him lurking in the background while you were still in the zone. I think it was your second round, and you were just going for it at that point. The crowd had settled and really started to listen. At the beginning of a battle, sometimes it can be a bit rambunctious, but then they settle for the second and it really starts gaining momentum. That was absolutely magnificent. But we have to come to the reason why I imagine most people are going to tune into this. Unanimous. The big asterisk. We need to talk about him, because in every battle I've seen with you since, every single fucking battle, that man's name is brought up as a slight against you, and I'm sure you're sick of it. I'm sure even the fans are sick of hearing it at this point, because there isn't a question mark in a lot of people's minds. But in the critics, he is the question mark. How do you feel about Unanimous as an opponent then versus now? And how do you feel about the prospect of battling him now?
So firstly, obviously Unanimous is one of the best battle rappers I feel that the UK have produced over the last 10 years by quite a considerable margin. His style is something that's transitioned really well over the years, and fans love him, love to see him back. They love to see him performing. I went to watch him versus Whispers on the No Lose chat card. I was stood behind him in that battle, and that was around the time our battle had just been postponed for the second time. I think it was about 2 months after. And yeah, I think in terms of the battle itself, I feel like he's taken it. I feel like now it's going to be a lot better than it would have been last year, simply because I've grown into. I'm closer to the battle rapper that I believe that I can be, and I feel like he's the one with everything to prove now, not me. However, I do feel like it's all the disadvantages are on me in terms of if I was to lose, then there's a lot of question marks that get raised, so there's a lot of pressure on me. If I get beat to Unanimous, it's not a title match. What happens to the title? Should he keep it? Should Unanimous get it? Is Bizzo as good as what everyone was saying he is? Bizzo wouldn't have been champion if the battle had taken place when it should have done. There's a lot of it's very I don't want to say damaging, but I can't think of another another word to explain it. But for me in particular, for me to lose this battle, it's very it wouldn't work out well if I was to lose this battle for me. There'd be a lot of a lot of questions to answer.
I would draw the comparison, and again, it's not a direct comparison in terms of anticipation and even repetition, because it's not 5 times, whereas this is 3. Tony Ferguson and Khabib. Remember, a lot of people thinking when that fight was first announced, Ferguson walks Khabib. Then it's 3 times down the line, and suddenly it's not sure. And then if you schedule the fight the 5th time, now no, Khabib walks Ferguson. In the same way, I think a lot of people would have had question marks if you'd have battled Unanimous the first time, whereas now, I think you go into this as favourite. I think you go in with everyone more or less thinking, listen, man, Bizzo's been on top for a year and a half at this point, and he hasn't wobbled once in any of his battles. Unan's got the hill to climb at this point, and that's got to be a boon for you. That's why, it's weird how things play out, because not only do you have that, you're effectively robbing every one of your opponents from a 3rd round going forward, because they've not got the Unan thing to play off of. As far as, well, you think you're champ, but what about you? Well, hang on, I smashed him, I beat him. What have you got now? So, I mean, in terms of your perception of it, do you think that that's helped the anticipation for it, or do you think that it's merely sort of it's just more garnish on this? It's just something that makes it a little bit more. Finally, we get to do this sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely still anticipated quite highly amongst fans. I think obviously, like you said, if you look at any of my battles recently, especially on Prem, in the comments there's always people saying, "Oh, Unanimous to beat him," or "He should battle Unanimous next," or "That belt belongs to Unanimous." So it'll answer a lot of questions on the day, and I've prepared for it accordingly. I know how good he is on his day, so I know how good I have to beat him. Like I said, if it had happened when it was supposed to happen, he might have taken me either the first time or the second time. But I genuinely. I feel like the pressure of losing has really forced me through with the prep for this, because I was. It's difficult as when you get a battle that cancel on you, although for valid reasons. It's hard to get that motivation, that fire in your belly to approach it like it's a brand new battle. It's very difficult to do that. It's kind of like it's like you're restarting a computer kind of thing. When you're waiting for like the updates to download or whatever, because it doesn't have that same energy as when it's first booked and it's like, yes, I'm battling Unanimous. It's kind of like, right, let's finally get this done kind of thing. So there's a different drive needed to prep for it, and obviously all the stars have aligned. It's finally going to go down. It's on match day 1. It's a judge battle. Yeah, it's a big one as well. I'm treating it as such. I think it's a very important battle. It's another defining battle for me, and I think it'll probably be my toughest one as well. I don't think he'll take any prisoners in this one. I think he has to come with a point to prove, whereas before he didn't. So Yunan, when he's got a point to prove, is a very different animal to Yunan who just wants to battle for the sake of battling. So we'll see.
Yeah, I remember distinctly his battle against Shuffle T, where the perception of Yunan is that he kind of fallen off a little bit, and it was perceived at the time that Shuffle, look, he's the comedy guy, he'll run rings around Yunan, especially with the Dungeons and Dragons stuff and all the rest of it, and Yunan pulled out a performance. He pulled out one of those ones where he didn't necessarily turn Shuffle's style on its head or use it back at him, but he utilized enough of his style in order to precipitate the crowd's reaction to then, right, no, Shuff's the one that's got to come back now. And when you win the crowd over, that's when it becomes a bit of, again, the pressure starts, because of it's a live performance. You can't legislate for the energy and the anticipation of a crowd, which is why it's interesting you talk about the pressure of losing. How does that affect you then, in terms of your preparation, when you know that you go in with the arrogance of being champion? It's warranted. You are where you are because of hard work, dedication, skill, and also the fact that you performed when you needed to. But that pressure, How do you harness it? Do you negate it? Professional athletes sometimes run away from it. They just don't want to think about it. They just want to stick to a regimen, put in the work, know that it's in the bank. Whereas other people want to fixate on it. They want to obsess about it. They want to harness every little detail. Do you fall into one of those camps, or do you have your own approach?
I have quite a big fear of failure, which is a big motivational drive for me. So the thought of failure is something that makes me work even harder than most people. I feel like I have an edge on a lot of people because I simply just cannot bear the thought of failing again.
Do you reject it as a prospect then, or do you accept it as a possibility?
I fully accept it. I try and take as much accountability for everything as I possibly can. So I literally will approach a battle like this is all in my hands. Like it's my battle to lose. I have to pull out all the stops to win. I can't slack on the writing. If I slack on the writing, I could give a round away. I could if I put this 4-bar in that I'm not very happy with. I could throw the round, things like that. I'm very driven to win as many battles as I possibly can, because I want to do things that UK battlers have never done before. So, and when I initially started battle rap in 2012, 2013. I failed on multiple occasions due to not having that accountability for myself, not having that motivation to be as good as I could be, and it's all flipped and changed now. But the way that I see that as a blessing and something to be grateful for is that I look back at the days where I was learning my last round as I was driving down to the venue on a 4-hour journey, and how embarrassing and shameful it is to stand in front of a crowd of people who've paid money to watch you rap, and you can barely get 7 or 8 lines out without slipping up, and that's an experience that I've suffered from as a result, and it's one that I never want to replicate. So that always drives me on now to make sure I'm never in that position. So I make sure that I'm prepped ahead of time. I make sure that I don't leave it too late. I try and get everything locked in as soon as I possibly can. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to finish as early as I possibly can. I'm very rigorous with everything. I want to win at the end of the day. I wouldn't take a battle if I felt like I couldn't get myself in a position where I could win it. So, but the main thing is the accountability of treating it as though it is mine to lose. And then in terms of the failure and stuff, I'm aware that there's failure there, but I don't ever look at an outcome where I fail. I'll never visualize that scenario from happening. I'd deal with it if it ever came about, and then I'd make the relevant steps to make sure it doesn't happen again. But in terms of the actual goal in front of me, I can't look at it as if I lose this battle, then what? I have to look at it as when I win this battle, and then take it from there. But I definitely don't deflect away from failure. I'm very much aware of it. I know what's at stake. I know what's at stake with this battle. Like I said, I feel like I've got the most to lose in this battle, so that's just additional pressure and additional motivation and additional accountability for me. So that's how I approach it.
I got you. We'll come back to the unanimous battle because that is the main crux of why we're talking. But I have to touch on something. Your bloody hairdryer.
I don't understand how this is getting out everywhere.
Quick story. I'm just throwing this out there. When I was running through, because I like to give my guests a bit of a heads up as to some of the things I'd like to talk about, I listed this on my things I might want to talk to, and this is on God as my witness. He messages back and says, "Got the thing in my bloody hand right now." Okay, you got it. Okay, do you know what? I'm gonna shut up and just let you just weave the tapestry you need to. Your hairdryer, and go.
It's a relaxation technique.
What do you mean it's a relaxation technique?
So, like people get electric blankets, don't they, and stuff like that, and it keeps them warm and cozy and whatever. But,
okay.
Or some people put loads of layers on big hoodies and stuff. But I don't like that. I prefer having like it's the same for summer as well. So with summer, I have the hairdryer goes in the cupboard, and then a fan will come out. But it's the sensation of a breeze, a constant breeze on you, that I really relax to. So I'll spend. I'm not going to say how much time I'm going to spend doing it, but yeah, I'll just like keep myself warm with it, like up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's quite, it's very therapeutic. It like takes me out of worrying about what's going on in the outside world, and I just chill and do that and stay warm simultaneously. And then in summer I'll get my fan out, and then my fan will rotate like that, and then I'll get the same sensation but with colder. But I've had it since I was a child. It's weird. It's ever since I was like 5-6 years old.
That was going to be my next question. When did the fixation begin? Because that's such a fascinating fixation for one to have, the sensation of air running. Like, I have to know more, because I mean the famous story of Wayne Rooney is that he can't fall asleep without the vacuum going in the background. He just can't. It's just one of those things, and a lot of people look at that and go, that's odd. But then you actually you go into anybody, and I mean anybody. I've met, a few people in my life. When you delve deeper, you hear some stuff and you go, huh? But then you go, well, yeah, but I've got stuff as well. I mean, I'll throw myself under the bus if I could think of something weird, but of course I'm perfect, and I have nothing weird about me whatsoever, aside from my name, face, ears, and everything in between. But here's my thing: an obsession. You've kept. Those are not my words, people. Not my words. Yours. An obsession. Is it something that, I mean, if you go on GQ one day and they say, here are your 5 things you can't live without, is your hairdryer making it on that list? Top 5. This is important. This is.
It depend on the time of year, but if it was in the winter, then 110% it's going on the list. Like it goes everywhere. I use them at hotels and everything.
Do you bring your own, or do you use the one at the hotel?
It's just that as well, when you've got it on, the sound will simultaneously like just take my head out of all thoughts of what's going on in life. It just clears everything. Like everything's just like very therapeutic with it. It's a strange thing to explain to people, because obviously it's very like, it's not normal at all. But it's just my way of switching off. Like if I've had a really long day, I'll get home, and if it's cold, I'll just do it, and then it's just my way of relaxing, and then all my thoughts just like disappear. I'm not thinking of anything. I'm just in the moment. So it's weird, but like I said, I've had it since I was a kid. I don't know how it came about. I think it was to do with when my mum used to, when I was like 3 or 4 years old, my mum used to dry her hair, and then I used to lie on the bed and catch the breeze from behind it. And it's like, my brother's exactly the same. Like, I've got a younger brother who's 3 years younger. He's got a hairdryer next to his bed. He's engaged as well, so he has a fiance to annoy with. I don't have anyone to annoy with. I can just do it with as much free will as I want. So yeah, we're an odd pair, but yeah, it's weird how my brother's exactly the same, which I find really weird as well. Like, it's such an obscure thing to have it as part of your habits and routines or whatever. So
it's not the same. If you want me, because I feel like I've thrown Bizzo under the bus a little bit here. Let me throw myself in it. I believe in something called juju. If I have a particular piece of clothing or jewelry, and something happens in it, I give it a little mark. And if certain things happen in sequence, I'm like, right, this thing has bad juju. I'm not wearing it anymore. I swear on my life, I threw away a tie and a jumper because I'd been fired in them twice. And I'm like, fuck these, fuck this jumper, fuck this tie, bad juju, get rid of it. And this watch, it's okay for the moment. I'm starting to feel like it's waning a little bit though. So this watch is probably got another week or 2 before it's got juju, and then I've got to put it in the box, leave it a year, then we'll see if it's still okay to wear. So we all have our things. That's all I'm saying. I just had to fixate on that in particular because it's just so strong wording. Obsession. I don't think I have an obsession with juju. I'm just cautious about it. That's all I'm saying. So
I'm fully obsessed with a hairdryer. I'd be lost without it. It's like Pingu's house in this room now. It's like Pingu's house in here. It's freezing. So
But in
As
fairness,
soon as this stream finishes,
who the fuck can afford? I mean, I'm not quite as bad because I've been running in that, so it kind of acclimatizes you to how cold in times we live. It is sad, isn't it, that we're having to think about that sort of crap on a regular basis. Like, what should I wear indoors during winter when it shouldn't be a fucking consideration? But times we live in,
not
I
in a country
suppose.
like this. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's
this
another topic.
it is another topic, but it's why it's so important. I mean, I think one of the things that we forget about entertainers sometimes, this is where you come back in, is that part of your job is to offer people some positivity, some elation, some joy, all of this sort of stuff. And while it might be difficult to look at it in a wider context, what you do is important because, look, in my experience, look, I'll just put myself in it. I was so G'd up to come and see you live, man. And that anticipation and that elation and that pressure is something that you handle, and it's appreciated that you take it as seriously as you do, because I imagine the reference you gave earlier to being younger and maybe a little bit more, I'll do it in the car. What's the worst that could happen? That doesn't show a
Naive, yeah.
respect to the audience. That doesn't show any kind of, due process that you're trying to make. Look, I want to make sure these people get their money's worth. Now, you're a honed performer. You take that seriously. That's something that you're cognizant of while you're writing and while you're practicing. The question I had is, when you go into that scenario and you're finally on stage and it's over, how do you take it in? How do you enjoy that moment? How do you make that juice worth that squeeze? Or is it something that you just treat as part of the job? Like, right, it's done, move on to the next thing. Or do you allow yourself the time to kind of enjoy a good performance?
Yeah, I'll try and enjoy it as much as I can afterwards. I think I speak for any battle rapper when they finished a battle, especially in a well anticipated one. The immediate feeling is a lot of relief, and you kind of feel about 10, 20 kilograms lighter after you've finished. When you've done a good performance, it's a very weird sensation, and simultaneously you'll lose all energy that you've had throughout the whole course of the day, and you'll just be completely zapped. And that happens to me a lot. The amount of times where I could have just stayed out and celebrated a good win over the last couple of years, and I've just been so tired that I've had to go home. It's a very weird feeling, but obviously, like you said, there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of anticipation. And when you're a main event, for example, my last 5 battles have been main events, so I'm always performing towards the end of the night. So I've got to kind of keep my morale and my mood and my energy up as high as I possibly can in the build up to it. So then obviously when you get to a venue at 12, 1 o'clock and you're performing at 5, it takes a lot of energy out of you to maintain that level for a long period of time. So after the battle's done, it's kind of like, and then you just feel like all the air's just been taken out of you. But it's very good to. I love it after a good performance when people come up to you and say like that was amazing, or you killed it, and that's kind of like what you do it for, because it's very rewarding to hear that off fans. The reaction during the battle's great, but that bit afterwards, when they actually make a conscious effort to come up to you and get a picture with you, and that's what the majority of battlers do it for, and it's a good feeling. I do try and enjoy it as much as I can. Like if I feel like I've had a great battle, then I'll want to watch it back as soon as possible, just to see how it gauges on camera as opposed to in the room. But then after that, it's just kind of, I say this, but I can never do it. I always say to myself, right, I'm going to just take a whole week off now and not think anything battle rap. But it's very hard. It's very hard to do. And when you do it as well, sometimes you kind of switch off from it too much, and then when you have to get back into it, it takes you a lot longer to get back into it again. So I'm at a stage now where I'm just constantly ticking over with
Sound
what's
like
next.
a gym addict, my friend. That's exactly the mentality they have, where it's, hey man, when's your last rest day? I got to think about that now. It's like, well, you're supposed to have rest days. I know, but I was supposed to do a rest day, but I went for a run. I just had to go for a run. I got to keep sharp. I'm in a zone now, and this is why I think it's interesting that you put it in that term, because you're in a zone, you're in a groove right now, and it's a general one. It's not something that you're razor focused on all the time, but there's a general focus that you have that you can apply, and you want to stay in that because you know how hard it was to get in that fucking zone to begin with, and you also know how easy it is to segue into something else and be like, this is kind of comfy, I like it here, and then when the time comes, right, now you need to get back in that zone, you know, fuck, now I've got to somehow rekindle that original motivation, build up momentum, get back up to speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I think, aside from a couple, every battle I've had over the last 2 years has been a mega battle. Like, and they just considerably got bigger and bigger in terms of the occasion, and that in itself takes a lot of energy out of you. So I worked out that I've either prepped or done a battle every 8 weeks for over 2 years now, which is mental. Like, it's crazy kind of a statistic that kind of baffled me when I sat and wrote it down. But yeah, I do feel like you've got to have a rest as a battler, because you've got to kind of reset your creative sources and stuff, and it's very hard for you to consistently be pulling haymaker out of your brain when you're when you're in that kind of state of mind. So I've got quite a bit. I feel like I've got quite a bit of time free after this Yunnan battle, so hopefully I'll be able to reset a little bit.
I mean, I'm going to point out that the man says he's in his own. I saw those pictures of you in Dubai or Saudi Arabia. I saw them. You want to tell me that was part of a battle rap preparation? You playing golf and girls and the nice club? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You were living large and making no apologies for it. I mean, champ shit, fine. But
I'm just trying to think
battle prep was that about, huh?
I'm trying to think if I had any if I was reciting any bars while I was over there. What date did I go there? September. That was. Oh yeah. So right, that holiday. I booked that holiday as my escape for a week after I battled Thesaurus at Apex. That's why I booked it for that. It was the Saturday. It was the Wednesday. I went on the Wednesday after I would have battled Thesaurus for the first time.
Okay.
So I was prepping in the build up to it. So I probably had. I think the battle got cancelled about 5 days out. So yeah, I probably had a week off, and then the holiday, and then came back to find. My flight for New York was booked while I was in the airport flying to Dubai, so I was still in battle mode because I had to prep for Oppa whilst on holiday. Yeah, it doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop, he says. Well, I mean, in terms of not stopping, I have to. I'm sorry. It was a different story last time we spoke. Liverpool, huh? Liverpool. What happened?
I can't hear you. Sorry, you're breaking up.
I know, right? Breaking up from all the way up here, where Arsenal currently sit at the top of the league,
Hello,
baby.
Can you hear me? Hello?
He thinks I'm buying it. He thinks I'm buying it, but I'm not. Because here's the thing, right? We touched on the fact that you guys have just brutalised poor Bournemouth 7-1 when I spoke to you. You did some things to that poor team that are unspeakable. Do you feel like this is your penance now, that y'all gotta?
How can a team as bad as us this season beat a team 9-0 in the league? I just don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me. It baffles me.
Tell me what your fandom's like at the moment, knowing that this might very well be. I mean, hopefully not, but this might very well be the last Premier League season before it becomes officially the Money Olympics, and just everyone fucking just goes, who can throw their money the furthest and the most? Whoever wins throws it the furthest, and we'll just give them the Premier League trophy at the beginning of the season. How do you feel about your fandom of football, of Liverpool specifically, but football more generally speaking, given the optics of the World Cup, the PIF coming in for Newcastle, City still being a thing, Chelsea being bought out, Man United potentially being bought out, and now not only are Liverpool's owners not selling the whole thing, they're selling a minority stake to get more money to hold on to the club for a bit longer. So what's your fandom like at the moment?
Yeah, to be honest, towards the end of last season, I went to the Champions League final in Paris, and because of all the bad experience with the fans and stuff, and I just didn't enjoy it at all, really. As well as obviously getting beaten, and I did a lot of reflecting on football as a whole going into this season, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to go with the flow, and it's been a very disappointing watch in terms of supporting Liverpool, and I went to 3 finals last year, and it doesn't even look like we're going to get close to a quarter final at this rate. The way football's going at the moment, I mean, it's always going to happen. It's one of those things. As soon as football becomes, as soon as you put a club like Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United up for sale, you're always going to entice someone who's going to change the game to a state where it's just going to get ridiculous, and the only way to combat that is to be ridiculous in return. So it just screams PSG to me. I feel like all the top clubs in the world are just going to become PSG, and I do think that we will eventually head towards a Super League style format, just simply because it'll just be all the richest clubs going after each other on a regular basis, and it'll be more of a spectacle in terms of like a worldwide thing. So it'd be very much like all-star games and things like that. I can see it all happening now, to be honest, which is a shame because it was a traditional working man's game, especially in the UK. So, but I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if any caps are going to come in, any financial caps. It's a strange game at the moment. I've not paid it as much attention as what I normally would after Liverpool being as shite as they are, and but we'll see.
Sorry, I can't help it. This is what being an Arsenal fan has been like for 8 years. 8 years, every season, more and more. I go a little bit. Do you know what? No, I didn't follow the game at the weekend. Did we win? No, of course we fucking didn't. But this is what football fandom is like at times. It's that, fuck, I love them. I can't help but love them. But fuck, I wish they were just not shit.
It comes and goes, especially with the big teams. If you look at a team like Arsenal, like they've gone through a very similar transition to what we went through. Like we went through a period of time where we had shit signings. It was bleak. Then we'd get a glimmer of hope, like when we had Rodgers and we nearly won the league under Brendan Rodgers, and then the following season we sold our best striker, and in return bought Ricky Lambert and Mario Balotelli, and then we were teetering above the relegation zone midway through the season, and Klopp came in and we just struggled for 3-4 years until we started playing the football that he wanted. But Liverpool are at a stage now where just our team is so haggard, and
I mean, it happened with Dortmund. That's what people forget. He ran them all the way into a relegation battle because of his style of football.
I mean, I've said all along with Klopp teams, because of the high intensity of the teams and the requirements, and from a physicality perspective, you have to change that entire team every 3-4 years. The whole team. You can't just get away with buying one player every 2-3 seasons. Like the only midfielders we've signed since Klopp took over, I believe, is Thiago and Arthur on loan.
I think Naby Keita was a pre-agreement as he was coming in, but I don't know if he had any impact. And it's fair to say he's not exactly set the world alight since. And Fabinho was centre back, and you've kind of remoulded him into a central defence midfielder-ish. So
he was one of Klopp's first signings, I think, Fabinho. But yeah, it's frustrating to watch, but I always know that football comes and goes. I've watched them I've been privileged enough to see them be the most successful team on the planet for 1 to 2 years. So I'm always grateful for that. And then I know that eventually it'll come back around and it'll be our turn again, just like it looks like it's going to be Arsenal. And Man United's turn at the moment. Football's a funny game, isn't it? It's a funny game.
I will put out one thing, one positive thing that could occur as a result of potential, because the PIF own Newcastle. There's a long-standing rumour that the PIF are going to buy WWE. Here's my pitch: Newcastle game against, pick a team, Man United. 47 minutes, 48 minutes, and everyone's had a chance to sit down. It's 1-1. Dong. The lights go out. The lights come back on. Undertaker, middle of the pitch, and he just starts laying people out left, right, and centre. Dong. He disappears. The game resumes. Referee's none the wiser because, of course, he's been distracted by someone off the pitch, and the game resumes. Tell me you wouldn't watch that. Tell me you wouldn't watch it, and it wouldn't be worth ruining a Premier League season.
Did you not watch Liverpool versus Wolves the other night?
I saw that, and that's where I got the idea. I was like, I know it was a prank, and as pranks go, bravo. Look, there's not a person in that crowd that's not aware of Undertaker that didn't think in that moment, fuck, he might be here. Like, he might. You never know. He's been to basketball games and boxing matches. He made that famous appearance at UFC with Lesnar before they banned anyone from WWE appearing. Tell me you wouldn't. And look, they'd have the power to make it happen. If they own the WWE and they own Newcastle, you'd think they'd go, listen, FA. Here's a milli, okay? We only want 10 seconds of your time, okay? Sure, it illegitimises your league for a whole season, but never mind that. Us owning your fucking Premier League clubs basically undermines the legitimacy anyway, so who really cares? Undertaker, we're going to give you a new hip, cybernetic legs, and you're just going to lay everyone out for 5 seconds, and then the lights go out, and we call it a win. Everyone goes home happy, okay? Tell me you don't watch that.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
There's Bizzo being the voice of reason now. I was genuinely thinking, like, mate, come on, no, football's it's a fucking religion for some people. Nah, let's ruin it for some theatricality. I'd be all in for that personally. Speaking of which, as far as your own aspirations for 2023, then I want to talk about it more generally in a second. But what I'd like to get your opinion on, and I understand it's just your opinion, but what do you think your role as champion? What do you think you need to do more of? Or what do you think you need to aspire to more? Or what progression plan do you have for yourself as far as your role as effectively, the ambassador for a promotion and indeed a whole genre of live performance in battle rap? What do you think you need to be doing more of that you're maybe not doing at the moment, or doing but not to the degree you want to?
I genuinely feel just doing what I'm doing now and continuing what I've already started building as a champion. I feel like the legitimacy of the belt has increased fourfold since I've had it in my possession. I feel like a lot more people actually want to win it. I feel like I've contributed to Premier Battles being the #1 rap battle league in the UK by quite a margin. I feel like I am a good example to other battlers in terms of preparation, in terms of consistency, in terms of what can be achieved by taking the right steps and taking the right battles and treating it as a profession and not as a hobby. And I think one of the main things for next year is to get more eyes on the league as a whole, whether that be in the UK or abroad. I am desperate to continue traveling and performing in the United States and Canada and places like that. So I'm in talks with a couple of different leagues for something potential in this year. So we'll see what happens. But the main thing for me is to get more eyes on Premier Battles, because if more eyes are on Premier Battles, then the chances are all the battlers involved will reap the rewards as a result. So
cheeky little tease there, wasn't it? No information. Come on, you've got to give us a bit more information.
Leagues, no, I'm not saying anything.
You're not saying anything? Nothing at all? You can't do us like that, man. Come on now.
Bad juju in this hat.
Oh, he's using my own fear against me. What? Oh, wow. I bring up one hairdryer reference. Do you know what I'll ask? You had a cup of coffee in the last 6 months. Have you had one yet?
Yes.
Be still my aching heart. What happened?
It's full of revelations. I made a coffee at work by accident for someone else. It was for someone else, and then I just thought I'll just have it, but I didn't enjoy it, so I won't be having a coffee ever again.
So wait, so because I'm sipping one right now. Okay, so you made one by accident, and you thought, well, waste not, want not, had a sip. Well, what was it? Was it just a plain bland? I'm sorry, I have to know because this bamboozled me last time. Never had a cup of coffee in his life, so this better be a fucking good cup of coffee to stand the test.
It was just like an americano powder with
Oh, get fucked! No,
milk.
you can't judge coffee on a powder-based cup of. Get the no,
Well, I
no.
have. Well, I have, and I'm going back to brews, going back to classic Lancashire
We had the shot,
Yorkshire
people.
tea.
You,
Yeah, you fucked
so
it.
you can't. What? I, I listen. When I come to see you live, I will find the finest cafe that I can possibly find in the area, or at least the local vicinity within walking distance of it, and I will buy you a beverage. I promise you, you'll love coffee. Coffee's great. It offers boundless energy and almost no downsides, apart from irritability and addictive tendencies.
Nice.
I'm just saying, okay? I just want to be open and honest before I push something on you, okay? I feel a responsibility to be open and honest about the things I do these days, okay? It's the same way I'd never tell a kid to pick up a weight unless he's looking for a life of bad hips and bad elbows, okay? You pick up your weight if you want muscle, sure, but be aware that getting up is going to become a problem at one point. That's all I'm going to say. But you've had a cup of... wow. I'm staggered. He had a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I didn't like it though, so it won't be happening again.
And he's
Back in the bin.
neatly used it to segue around telling us more information about his upcoming. Interesting. That's why he's
I
the
just want to
champion.
go. All I'm going to say is I just want to go back to America. So that's
Okay.
what I'm in discussions with doing. But we'll see. We'll see if
All right.
anything materializes.
Well, let's see if we can endear to the Americans a little bit more. Silly question. If you could hit anyone in the world with a wrestling finisher, who would you hit and what would you hit them with?
But any person.
Well, I've got to throw it. Listen, because most people have someone in their mind that they would love to. I don't know. I mean, who doesn't want to stunner their boss? Who doesn't want to put Koj through a Spanish announce table? Who doesn't want to do those things? So you must have something in your mind where you'd be like, do you know what?
I'd like to replicate the Jeff Hardy's holding onto the belts and Edge spearing him with Rishi Sunak.
Interesting. Okay, I'm presuming you're Edge in this situation.
Correct. I wouldn't let Rishi Sunak spear me mid-air.
Phil, did
It'd be
who?
more like a running hug.
I feel like that would be. I can't remember if Edge and Christian won. So you're saying not only do you want the spot of the match, you want to win the match at the end as well. So you want to have him looking up at the lights and like, ah, shit, I lost. I lost to Bizzo.
Yeah, and then the Fiend will come out and finish him off.
Fiend will come out and finish him off. Interesting. All right. Oh, listen, that is a solid reference for them. The kids won't understand who the hell we're talking about. They know Edge. Yeah, he's that guy who came back at the Royal Rumble. Jeff Hardy, he's that guy who was in AEW for a bit. Your youth disgusts me. Anyway, as far as your American escapades, we'll leave that for now then. The final big question I have for you is you've touched on it to a degree, 2023 and beyond in terms of battle rap, obviously, but in terms of you generally, your forays into songwriting, is there any potential for you outside of battle rap in terms of your more performative elements? I mean, if I'm remiss if I don't mention the fact that there's always the potential for other styles of live performance, acting, online content, other roles within Premier Battles or other promotions. Like, do you have your eye on anything going forward, or is battle rap still your main focus in terms of what you want to apply yourself to and excel at?
I think battle rap will always be like the focal point of Bizzo Bond as such, simply because it's the thing that I'm most passionate about and the thing that I want to be most successful with. I would like to release an album at some stage, whether I get time to do that this year, we'll see. But it is on my list of things to do before I die to release an album. So that's one thing that I've always got in the back of my mind. And I enjoy just being like a good influence and a positive person just as a whole, not necessarily from a battle rap perspective, but I always try and motivate as many people around me as I can. Being being good for the world, I think, is that there's a lack of people that want to do good in the world, I feel. And when I say that, I mean it genuinely, not in terms of for profitable gain or
If someone's
for
not
clout.
recording, basically, so it's like, oh
Yeah,
well, yeah, I'll give money to this homeless person, but make sure the angle's good before I do, sort
yeah,
of thing.
literally. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the main things that I want to focus on over the next few years and get to a stage where I can just be like a recognised force for good. That's genuinely the mantra that I want to adopt over the next few years. Bizzo Bond, the battle rapper, and then just being a good influence, motivational inspiration on the side as well, and maybe an album this year.
And this is all after a resounding victory against Unanimous, presumably.
Yes, correct.
And if I can just sneak in one more cheeky question, just because I have to, we'll take something positive from football. If you could score one iconic goal, whose goal would you have scored? So you're in their place as they score the goal. Whose goal would you want to score?
That's a good question.
Just throwing mine out there. Bergkamp's against Newcastle. Thing of beauty, and I'd steal that goal in a heartbeat.
The first one that came to mind was Ronaldinho's against Chelsea, but
oh yes, that is. I mean, kids don't get it when you watch it and you go, no, watch. There's no one scores that goal. There's no one. He scores it because he's audacious and he's got the skill. That's an
that was the first one that came. That was the first one that came to mind. But I think I'd like one where the ball struck insanely sweetly, like Michael Essien's. Was that in the Premier League against?
That might have been against us.
Was it against Arsenal?
It might have been. I might remember it. Yeah, I might remember that one.
I bet. Yeah, I'd like to feel the sensation of hitting a ball that sweet and it just piercing the net. That'd be a good goal to replicate.
We all have those indoor football stories where we score goals like that and they're never recorded. And everyone always blags it afterwards, said, nah, you didn't score that. It wasn't that good. You're like, mate, it was a look, and this is God of the truth. Indoor football, you know, the half nets, I lobbed someone from 5 yards out once and everyone denied it afterwards. I'm like, I loved it because his knees gave out and he fell as the ball went over him. I lobbed someone from 5 yards out. That's fucking amazing. Yeah, sure you did. Fuck. But like, I mean, the Ronaldinho one is a great. I mean, it's a classic Champions League goal. Classic. Like, it's one that's been replayed a million times. And obviously, the Spanish announcers didn't fucking help things. Go, 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 go. Like, that was Soccer AM back in the day, just replayed to shit. That's a good shout. That's a really good shout. Not one that came to my mind just because I think more. Because, again, there was physicality, there was finesse, there was skill, there was a moment. There's Owens against Argentina as well that you got to throw in there for me because of just how. Who is this kid? Who is this kid? And Liverpool fans knew about him for years. Like, mate, his name's Michael Owen, and he's going to be special. He won a Ballon d'Or.
And then he sold out, went to Real Madrid, and then came back to Newcastle and played for Stoke City and Man United. Trash.
But don't you think, I mean, look, I'm not throwing anyone's legacy in the toilet for no reason. Bale being called the greatest British player of all time. I'm sorry, Owen won a Ballon d'Or. He was legitimately the best player in the world at one point. Bale has never been the greatest player in the world. Granted, he's won a few Champions Leagues. Debatable whether or not that's a big deal. You know, Arsenal never won a Champions League, so I fail to recognise its legitimacy. But still, you know, Bale's good, but he's never been individual. His individual accolades have never stacked up to other players from the British Isles, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, it's hard. It's one of those ones where if you're in a successful team, you're deemed a world-class player, and it's a lot of horseshit because there's no individuality. Bale was a good player, particularly for his country. He salvaged a lot of moments for his country, which is one of the reasons why you could argue it. But when you're playing in a team as good as Real Madrid, Ronaldo scored more goals than he had appearances for Real Madrid, which doesn't get talked about enough, because that is an unheard of stat. Like, the only other person I ever knew that happened with was a fucking player called Mattia Kezman, when he played for PSV before he moved to Chelsea. He scored. I think he scored more goals than he had appearances for PSV, if I remember rightly.
The name rings
but
a
I've
bell
never.
vaguely.
He was shit for Chelsea though. He was terrible. Because I used to sign him on Football Manager.
But the sentence, he was great, and then he signed for Chelsea, could apply to so many players. They've effectively got 10 frontline players, and they can't field fucking any of them right now because they're either shit on loan or they're trying to sell. Tell me that's a successful football club. If Liverpool had fucking 5 frontline players that they couldn't play, you lot would be in pages every single week. Chelsea have 10.
Chelsea's just a factory for players. It's genuinely like a factory, a conveyor belt of footballers. They send 87 players out on loan a season on average, and 60 of them go to Vitesse in Holland.
Sad thing is that number probably is correct. That we throw that number out, it's probably correct.
That is true. That is
true. The number. There you go.
About 2 or 3 years ago, they sent out 87 players on loan.
And it's legal. Yeah, nothing suspicious about that, Your Honour. Nothing suspicious at all. We're not skirting financial fair play or anything. Mbappe, yeah, we signed him on loan for 2 years, say PSG. Yeah, what? £140 million loan fee? Nah. What are you talking about? He's on loan. It's just on loan. We'll give him back.
He's still there now.
Still there now, but you know, financial fair play is for the weak and for the dim-minded. But that's Arsenal are a rich club, otherwise I'd probably have a different opinion of financial fair play. From my eyes,
yes, they are.
You know,
they are a rich club. You've just got stingy owners.
In what sense? Just because we bid 98 million euros for a player we then didn't get twice. Listen,
that was finessed as well, because you've just gone and signed someone for 26 mil.
And I bet he's brilliant as well. And it's going to be one of those situations where we're all like, just fun, like, why can't we spend a lot of money?
I don't understand why Arsenal are trying to sign a right winger so desperately. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I guess the idea is that Arteta looks at Zinchenko and Jesus are the signings that tip it off. Not first team players at City, but they have dynamicism in terms of how they can play. And Arteta is just looking at it from the perspective of, I kind of need you all to do everything. And if you can all do everything, then there's no excuse why you can't do what I tell you to do. You're all very coachable. You tell Aubameyang to track back. He does 350 grand a week, bitch. I ain't doing what you fucking say. And he pieces out. Lacazette the same. I'm 32. I'm not fucking running anywhere that's not the 6-yard box. You get the kids in and you tell them, track back. And they'll do it without grunting. You know,
that's where we're at. That's the problem we've got at the moment. We've got Salah, who's the highest paid footballer at our club ever. And he's terrible at the moment. You've got all of our good youthful players are all injured, which is a nightmare. And then you've got Thiago, Fabinho, Henderson, Milner with a combined age of 367.
How dare you disparage the elderly Milner? Speak well about your elders. Come on now, that man is a respected member of your team. You said it, not me. Liverpool fans, don't get mad at me. I know how rampant you guys are.
I like Milner. Milner's been a great signing. But
he was an astute sign. Say what you like about him now, but at the time, hey, talk about a neat signing.
He could still do a job for another year or two if you played him right. But you can't be playing 90-minute matches like at the start of the season 4 or 5 times in a row. He needs to come on for the last 10 and
It's like FSG coming in and saying, can Milner still play 90 minutes? And he looks over at him in his hospital bed having his 3rd hip replacement going, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Good.
No.
You're playing at Wolves. I'm awful. They do me head in.
Oh, I'm sorry about the Liverpool. Listen, it's unique. Arsenal fans have not had this in nearly 10 years. I lived through the Invincibles. I lived through the 98 era with Adams and the last vestiges of the David Dean era and all the rest of this sort of stuff. This is the first glimmer of hope I've had in an era where the stadium wasn't costing us more money than God each month in interest payments. So it's a nice change of pace until it becomes the money Olympics, when Newcastle and City and all the rest of that sort of stuff go off. At which point, you know, it'd be interesting to see actually, because you've got a good point about football being the working man's game, and in many ways, I view battle rap through the same prism. It's one of those things that anyone could come and enjoy. It doesn't matter, you know, intermittent level, experience, you know, extreme level. You know, if you're just looking for a good time, if you're looking for an in-depth event, it's something anyone can come to. But football, you wonder what everyone's going to turn to when it becomes too expensive. Like, what do people watch for their sporting content? I don't know. It's a good question.
I can only see football. If football turns into a money game, then I can only see it going as similar to the NBA, where it's just full of A-list celebrities and stupid halftime shows and things like that. That's how I can see it going. It become more touristy. Like Liverpool's there's a lot of tourists on games at the moment, where these people somehow manage to get tickets and they live hundreds of thousands of miles away. So I can see the sad thing is, for every person that can't afford to go, there's always someone that will pay that money to go and watch them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to the game. I think it's a long way off yet. I still think it'll have a bit of genuinity. Is that a word? Was that a word?
It is now, motherfucker. You're the champ. You can say whatever the fuck you like and it becomes a word. Usi is now a word in WWE because Sami Zayn threw that shit out there and Roman Reigns went, Usi. All right, it's a word. Put it on a t-shirt, sell it. And it sells. It's now a word.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see. As long as Liverpool don't get relegated, I'll still watch it.
There's no...
It won't happen this season.
We had relegation form. We stuck with Arteta, so you know it could always.
That's the best thing you can do, though. You have to stick with the manager. It's proven time and time again. I genuinely feel like Lampard will get Everton playing football eventually, and that's a massive ask. But I feel like getting another manager in isn't going to do them any favours. It's just the fact that their team is shit at the moment, and he needs to invest in it and get it into a position where they play the football that he wants to play.
Things take time, man. Things take time. I mean, not to, because I said I was wrapping this up with one last question about fucking 20 minutes ago. Sorry, people. But gym work, because I wanted to ask you about your gym work, but we haven't naturally segued into it. And this is the thing I wish I could tell people when they first start training. I'm sure you're discovering this the more and more you're training, the different regimens, the diet, the discipline, the sleep, the taking into account everything else, the stress, the mindfulness. It builds over time, man. You have to let things bed in, and then you have to work out where the real problems are, not these, oh, it's really painful lifting weights. Well, fuck, of course it is. Your body's acclimatized into something that it's not built to do right now. Give it time. And then when you're up to a certain level, that's when you can start going, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do, this is what I want to do, this is what I don't want to do. It needs time, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's the be all and end all of it is you've got to put yourself in situations that you're not normally in. If you keep doing the same thing for the rest of your life, you'll always get the same results. You've got to do different things to get different results. Especially with the gym, you've got to commit to it. And a lot of people, the problem with the world at the moment is that they have a very short attention span with regards to everything. Whether it's a video online, whether it's a 6-week magic transformation for your body, whether it's a 4-week diet and lose 3 stone. Everyone wants everything now. Amazon deliveries have to be on your door 6 hours after you've ordered it. Everything, the attention span just is non-existent in the world at the moment. So you've got to kind of like reprogram yourself to understand that these things will take a long period of time, and you're more likely to have better results over a prolonged period of time if you do it for a longer period of time. My brother's a good example. My brother, he recently did a 16-week transformation just after lockdown, and he was a big guy at the time, and he lost loads of weight, and he got absolutely shredded. Like I've never seen anything like it. He was in insane shape, and then within 2 months he was back to his old ways, because it's not sustainable. You've got to look further than just like, oh, I'm going on holiday in 6 weeks, get me a 6-pack, and then when you come back off your holiday, you just go back to your slob body that you had beforehand. So,
I mean, have you seen what it's like on YouTube at the moment with the algorithm? So, because this is the point that you're making. it's now, if you want to be monetized, you have to have a certain amount of subscribers, a certain amount of views, watch minutes on content, or it's a certain amount of reviews on shorts. And they've clearly geared it towards the shorts, where it's, listen, you can make content where people watch it for an hour if you want, but if you make one video that does 20,000 views, we'll monetize you. And it's like, but what if
that's TikTok's fault, because the shorts are just a competition for TikTok at the end of the day.
Yeah,
100%. That's
100%.
all. It's like Instagram Reels as well, and then you've got the same concept on Facebook as well. But it comes all the way back to the attention thing. Like, you can start watching a video, get 3-4 seconds in, and be like, nah, next one, and then up you go again. And it's like it destroys people mentally. Like, I don't think people understand like the severity of how like damaging that is to your persona, because it's in all ways of life. It's in online dating, with Tinder and stuff like that.
Oh my God, are we going there? We can go there. I'ma throw some motherfucking bombs at that shit if we go there though, Bizzo. Don't hold me back. Hold me back, man. I think he said the words online dating. I heard it. He definitely said those words. I'ma spit some fucking venom on that. Actually, I'm not really, but I might, but I won't. Sorry, you were saying.
I was ready then. I was ready.
Well, I mean,
it's the same concept though. It's the same
in terms of the short attention span nature of it from that perspective. I mean, I just view it as it's always been as far as online dating is concerned. It's people presenting the very best version of themselves that they can't hope to maintain, in the vain hope that someone is suckered into believing that premise. So you're ultimately setting yourself up for failure. And any attempt to be genuine or present yourself in a genuine way is met with, well, that doesn't sound like the best case scenario. Click. It's okay, but what?
So yeah, you say online dating certainly. There is certainly like things the majority of the people follow to fit into a category where they're more likely to get success out of it. So they follow certain templates. That's why you see all the girls.
I want to travel more. It doesn't make you fucking interesting saying you want to travel.
And the every picture when they're feeding an elephant, I love that
one. Feeding an elephant.
It's the same concept. I don't agree with online dating. I've done it in the past. In fact, I recently downloaded it again a few days ago, and then I just deleted it within a couple of days because it just doesn't. There's nothing genuine about it, and it doesn't bring any happiness to your life. I mean, there's some people that I'd probably find love on it, but I could argue that it's not genuine.
We say love, we put those in big parentheses, because what we really mean, children, is that when a man and a woman love each other, but not really, they just fancy each other and feel like meeting at the back of a TK Maxx for 15 minutes and then parting ways amicably, never to see each other again. Because that is what it's for. That's what that's for. Whereas, like, back to the point.
There is, but I do think there are people that actually actively try and find love on there. But I think that a lot of it boils down to them settling for mediocrity first and foremost.
Right.
Because when you go on an app like that, you are having to you will have to sacrifice a level of high standards in order to get the desired outcome. And then if you were to actually find someone on an online dating app, the problem with it is it might be all well and good, but as soon as you have that one fallout, the first thing that's going to go into that person's head is, I could just go back on this app and I've got 68 other matches that I could just go on another date with. I don't really need this guy because I could just dump him and then go back on Tinder tomorrow and have 100 guys in my inbox asking to take me out for dinner. So it's not the right way to find love. I don't encourage it to anyone. Like, all my friends know how I feel about it.
Shouts to my friend Ryan Culverhouse, who not only got me into battle rap, but gave me one of the best lines I've ever heard when it comes to online dating, which is, be careful, because effectively what you're doing is fishing for diamonds in a crab pond. And I never forgot that fucking visual, because at that point onwards, I always thought of it from the perspective of, because you're right, maybe you hook a diamond, but the odds of that are astronomically smaller than you hooking a crab and going, it's a crab, throw it back in you go. Because, yeah, you're right. It's the people that do go into it with genuine intentions. And it's so funny to say that you went on there and deleted it after a few days, because it's exacerbating it. It's so just Oh, I'm bored of seeing and again, the idea of, oh, there's another girl feeding an elephant. You wonder whether or not there's like a prompt to insert it at certain points in the profile. Like, here's where you put your picture of you feeding an elephant on every single
Yeah.
profile, because you're
Or stood
right.
against the backdrop with angel wings holding a drink. That's another one that I see on every single
Posing
one.
on a balcony over a skyscraper view,
Yeah.
beach pictures, all this rest of stuff, as opposed to what I imagine most people have pictures of, which is them just doing random shit and just looking like they're having a good time. That's what my photo album consists of. There's no pictures of me. Yeah, there's just, they don't exist. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean?
yeah,
Whereas,
that's the sad thing about it, is that those are the pictures that should be clicked on and matched with, but they're not, because a template is built over time where people expect certain people on these apps to look or be doing a certain thing for them to be classed as high value or worthwhile to take out. So
but I will come back to that, because what I will say, and I don't know, I can't believe I'm recommending other content to you, Bizzo. I'm so sorry. There was a documentary on Channel 4 about incels. And I remember watching it and thinking to myself the whole fucking time, as bad as I feel about online dating as a general rule of thumb, which it sounds like we're on the same page of, at no point did it occur to any of these fucks, go to a cafe, go to a library, go to a gym, go and meet people and just meet them. Don't have the presumption of anything. Meet them organically, show them your personality, endear yourselves to them, show that you're actually worth a shit, and sooner or later your perseverance will you have to be worth the interest first. You can't manufacture and present it. You have to cultivate it. It's hard work. It takes time. And sometimes some of your aspects of your personality or your work ethic or what you present to the world isn't the most palatable. You have to accept and own that shit in order for you to then get the compliments and then get people asking about you. It's an organic process, man, and it's not something that's inachievable for anybody. Like you said, body transformations are possible, but they require hard work, discipline, and sacrifice. That's the price you pay, man.
yeah, very true. Very good point.
And on that note about Lorne rants about the world being the old man that he is, sorry, folks. It's so rare I get to rant. Again, clouds don't respond, and the kids are too young to understand what I'm talking about because I talk for longer than 15 seconds. Anywho, Unan is coming up. What's the date? What's the place? And how can you get a hold of tickets?
February 4th at the venue in Manchester. It's a Saturday. It's match day 1. It's Sharks versus Mandrill Mob. My teammates Visual and Black Tea are both participating in the match day against Quill and Frost, respectively. There are other battles going down that day, Division 1 and Division 2. Tickets can be copped at premierbattles.club, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, come down. It's going to be. This is a defining year for UK battle rap as a whole. This is the one where it could really kick off into something special. So the more support it gets on that front, and the better. And I'm very grateful to be headlining the first official show of the year as well.
And I mean, I feel like I'm giving this I should be taking this opportunity, not you. Hype the battle for me. I'm sitting on the fence right now. I'm at home. I see the link. I see the picture. I see the date. I see the location. I'm free, but I'm an Anarin. Talk me in the building.
2-time Battle of the Year, current Premier Battles UK champion versus the guy that he took the belt off without having to battle. It's a grudge match. It's been anticipated twice already. Should have gone down in Manchester, should have gone down in London. It's now going down in Manchester. It's finalised. I know he's turning up. I'm turning up. I'm prepped and ready. I'm sure he's going to be prepped and ready. He has to win. I cannot lose. Yeah, you need to be there to see it. It's going to be very hard, very energetic, very intense. Shotty Ora's going to be there. Shotty Ora's a superstar. So come and get his autograph, and then yeah, just enjoy it.
I'll put this out there. This is the asterisk. As soon as this battle is done and dusted, it's gone, and the winner left standing is the Undisputed. At the moment, some might claim there's a dispute. Like you say, there's that thing in the comment section. Right now, though, you're the champ, and after this battle, there will be no misinterpretation, no misunderstanding of who the number one is. And that man will be ... Bizzo Bond. You know you've got my support. I've got no fucking doubt in my mind you're gonna monster it. My only disappointment is the fact that you can only monster him once, and after that, like I said, every opponent you'll ever have after that isn't going to have a third round, because they're not going to have that to fucking build around anymore. That's going to be so disappointing for them going forward, but a challenge for them nonetheless.
Bless them.
Every so often, this is what I keep trying to get out of Bizzo in these interviews. Just a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of swagger, just that little bit of that Roman Reigns smiling over Zayn's shoulder-esque, just that little bit of, I want a heel turn. I feel like he's maintaining the babyface persona just a bit too much. I want to see the NWO shirt. I want to see him hitting someone in the back with a chair after a battle. I want to see the heel Bizzo at some stage. Not today, clearly, but someday in the future. Thank you so much again for taking the time, Bizzo, man. I really can't say how much I appreciate you taking the time for not only our original conversation, which went down gangbusters, and this conversation as well. I cannot wait to see this, having seen again, and it bears repeating. Not many people can claim to have an instant classic when it comes to battle rap. Tony D's battle with you is as close to a perfect battle as I've ever seen in terms of balance, competitors, the crowd, the punchlines, and then to cap that year off with Thesaurus. Man, 2023 is your oyster, and I'm so fucking excited to see what you do, Unanimous and beyond, man. So thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.